So we got the 27.5 Norco Sight A2, 2021 model, medium, so it's got a 455 reach, 435 chainstay, 63.5 head angle, 77.3 seat angle. Seat angle was fine, climbing was killer. Now this rear shock, this X2, been up and down on a few different bikes. I've had a little bit of a struggle getting it to where I want it to be on the Banshee Rune, for example, and a couple other bikes. So this here, even though it's the A2 model, so it's the cheaper model, about $5 or whatever, alloy, solid as a rock. This alloy is strong, this frame is strong. Very impressive, very stiff. But this shock's got all the bells and whistles, so you got high and low speed compression, high speed rebound, low speed rebound. So it's got everything. It's just got a Fox Rhythm 36 on the front. That Rhythm comes with 2 tokens. 2 tokens doesn't feel great. So I went back and forth. I went to a token, I went no token, then went back to a token, then went back to no token, a little bit more pressure, and ended up sitting on, for my probably dress to ride, 76-ish. Ended up at 80 psi, 78 psi was really good as well, but just kissing the bottom at 78. But excellent on anything that doesn't have any hard, heavy G outs. Just but a smooth performance, heaps of control up the front. Rebound fast, but not really fast. It doesn't really top out, so it's got a, it's got a well-controlled high-speed rebound circuit in there, I assume. Fork impressed me. It's just got this grip dial, which I've been running at literally 12 o'clock. So it opens up at about 11 o'clock, and then you go 12 o'clock, and then you can go all the way around the dial down to probably 6:30, 7 o'clock on the clock to full lockout. So I've been running at 12 o'clock. Feels killer. I don't know if it makes much of a difference between full open and 12, but it's kind of where I always ended up coming back to. Ride height. So I didn't dabble too much with the rider line. I had a look at initially when I got the bike. I'm not overly interested in the rider line because I've had bad experience with every Norco I've had that's had a rider line set up has been way off the charts for what I would consider high performance. So this rear shock, I started at 16 mil of sag, which is where they say it runs 16 to 17 mil of sag, which is 30%, 16 mil. Now it's just tall in the back, choppy as hell, way too progressive in the shock at that pressure, even with no token, so it's got no token in it now. 17 mil, still too wacky. 18 mil, starting to get into good ride height. Still no pedal clips at 18 mil. 19 mil is where I ran it today, and as you see on that video, it's hauling. It's hauling. I'm not touching the bottom anywhere. I'm not getting I'm not getting stood up anywhere. I'm just sitting in and just surfing. I'm just surfing. I'm riding the pedals. So 19 millimeters of sag, which is, that's closer. You're getting down to 34, 35% sag there. But it works killer. Rebound, being a hot day, it was 30 today when I was out on the trails. So I closed the rebound, the high-speed rebound, to click, and left the low-speed rebound where it was, because it was a little bit wild. It was a little bit wily at the top, at the start. So played around with compression, didn't change anything, or it changed things, but it didn't improve things. So pissed off the compression, went back to standard compression setup, went back to rebound, started with a low speed, not too, it didn't eliminate what I was looking to eliminate. That punching and wildness, the back end's a bit too wild. So the fast high speed rebound, the grip that's your grip dial. That's your grip dial and your rowdy dial, pretty much. So faster is more grip and more rowdy. So you got to back off the rowdiness, but don't back off so much that you start sacrificing grip, because a slower high speed rebound will kill your grip and it will kill your compliance as well, because the shock's not getting back to the supple part of its travel to catch the next bump. So started with 2 clicks from full open, ended up at 3 clicks from full open. Let's double check that. 4 clicks from full open today. So 3 from full open on a 4 of a possible 8 or 9 if you can include the half click. So hot day 4 was good. On a more mild day like a 25, 24, 23, 3 is good. Anything below 23 degrees Celsius, 2 is excellent. So we've had a variation of weather since I've had this bike. I've had hot days and a cold day in there, a cooler day in there as well. So I've been able to go through the whole range. Compression, 4 out from open on the high speed compression is killer. Open it up a bit and it's just a little bit, it's a weaker stroke and it creates more feedback. It creates more chop, but as does going further than 4. You go further than 4 and it starts to become a little stiff, a little resistant to get out of the way of things. So it's either resistant to get out of the way of things when it's too stiff, or it's choppy because it's in and out of the travel when it's not stiff enough on that high speed compression. So, and the reason I've got 4 clicks, that's relative to the spring rate, because I'm running a deeper sag, 19 mil sag on a 52.5 mil stroke. We're quite deep in the sag, so I'm leaning more on compression for my control and my resistance. Low speed compression is only 3 clicks in from open. Go 4, 5, 6 clicks in and it starts to get real stout out the back. Surely you get more to push against and it feels more poppy and playful. But on the trails that I ride, the stiffer trails, so if I was to go to Fox, I'd ramp that low speed up 2 clicks, maybe 3, probably 2 clicks, and send it as is. Same ride height, pressure, maybe another click of high speed compression, leave the rebound as is. Just because it's smoother out there, there's not as much choppy, loose, narrow trail. So yeah, I'm stoked I got this thing working, because when I got it, it felt like a bag of bones. It just didn't feel great. And riding it, their recommendation, it's just tall and doesn't corner well and just feels whack. And old mate that I borrowed this bike off of had a low bar height as well. I've got that bar height at, if you measure off the ground, it's 1065, I think, to the top of the bar, top of the grip. Yeah, it's between 1060 and 1070. He had it at 1040, which is too low if you want to have fun on a bike. The seat could go forward more to get a better climbing position. Didn't really care. To be honest, I didn't really care. 27.5 front and back. I definitely prefer it. Even in the front, I don't care for a 29er anymore. I know that I've always said a mullet's better, and I love a front wheel, a front 29er for sure. But this small, low gravity, easy to lay down, and there's very little effect from the gyroscopic force of the wheel compared to a 29er. It feels like the 29er is just harder to get down and across, and a lot of it is setup related as well and whatnot, but take all those other variables away. I think the 27.5 is way easy to throw around, way easy to put where you want it to be and get it away from where you don't want it to be. Well, not way easy, but it's definitely, it gives me the feeling of that's what I prefer. That's easier and that's safer for me to send. So just loving the 27.5, loving, even though I've gone to bigger bikes, this is the size I used to ride. So this is a 435, doesn't have the wheelbase on here, but I'm assuming it's about a 1220. So 1210 to 1220. I've been liking the 1240 wheelbases and the 470 reaches lately. And going back to this, I thought it's going to be small, but it didn't take me long to get used to, and it's so much fun. Through the tight, twisty stuff, maybe you could do a little more on a higher speed track with a longer bike for sure. I think that's what I've been driven to get a longer bike for, because I ride a lot of high speed stuff as well. But I love it. It's not too small for me. It's definitely not too small for me. So I think you don't have to get too hooked up on size of bikes, especially now in this time where there's not a lot of availability for certain stuff. So run whatever you can get your hands on, as long as it's not really small, kind of restrictively small or restrictively big. A bike that's too big for you is going to treat you worse than a bike that's too small for you, I believe, because There's only so much you can do when you get into a rough section of steep stuff or a stepped section where you got to go full extension and then get the bike back under you, full extension, get the bike back under you. On a long bike, you can't get that full extension, so you're in trouble. So I love the shorter bike for that. Assegai Max Terra. All my woes about the Assegai are gone. All my worries about it not having grip on the edge, gone. So I started with the Max Terra on my bike, and that feels killer. I've gotten used to that and gotten more and more familiar and baby stepped it into being confident on it. Max Terra, this was my nemesis. This is my I've had a few moments on an Assegai Max Terra, and on this bike I have had nothing but good times. So I rate it now. I'm a convert. I'm definitely a convert. I'm obviously going to go back to a DHF to make sure that there's nothing I'm missing out there. But I think I'm an Assegai guy. I'm an ass guy. So, you want to talk about value for this bike? Norco A2, I believe it's around the 5G mark. 40mm stem. Not sure what bar it comes with. He's got a boo bar on it. But outside of that, you got Stan's wheels, strong as hell. SLX rear hub. Yeah, SLX rear hub, which is loud and then silent and then loud, and I don't know what's going on there, but it doesn't bother me. 170 cranks, SLX, strong as hell. I'd definitely go 165, but I didn't have an issue. He's got a 34 on the front. I would go a 32, absolutely, just for easier climbing on the pinch climbs. It's not necessary. I never spin out a 32 on a 27.5 unless I'm really charging on a road, which I don't care about spinning out on a road. The brakes are killer. SLX brakes, so much power. Just they feel like my XTs. Yeah, a little bit less refined on the lever, but they're powerful. They're killer. Again, the rhythm fork's been wicked. The finish on the bike, I love this colour. I love this frame. I love the strength of the frame. It feels like a strong alloy frame. It's been put together well. Whether they've designed the tubes to be more rigid I don't know what they've done, but it's killer. It's got my old Aggressor on the back, doubled down, which has got a fat thorn through it, and he's got a tube in there too. So as soon as I pull that thorn out, it's game over for old mate. But this bike's a hitter. Just make sure you're running it deep in the sag, 34% or whatever, 33%. For me, 18 to 20 mil. 19 mil seems to be that's a home run. So stoked beyond words with this bike. It's been so much fun. Sure, it was a little hard to get my handle on, but I had a lot of fun today. I had a lot of fun on this thing. So 27, alive and well, and definitely my preference. And definitely, I would say, if you're 174 or shorter, lean that way. Don't worry about the hype of 29ers are faster and carry more speed and more rollover. Who cares? Who cares? This thing climbs as fast as any bike I have that climbs. It was slow when I first got it. I changed the suspension and now it climbs like a goat. It's all about your setup. SLX derailleur has been flawless. It's killer. So Norco Sight A2, value absolute. And performance, that surprised me. I'm happy that I got that shot absolutely sailing. So thank you Alex for letting me borrow this. You're a legend. I promise you'll get it back and it'll feel killer. I haven't broken anything, which is nice. And ride your bikes.